Great.
Just want to move your legs the other side for me.
Thank you.